Old Outdoor Broad here, and I am here at the Watchman Campground in the Zion National Park. And this is an impromptu video. I've been wanting to do a review of this backpack for a little while, and I was out this morning on my way to my hike, and an incident took place, and I decided, you know what, if I feel like it after I get back to camp and rest up and all that stuff, I'm going to go ahead and make a few comments about this pack. So let's go ahead and have a look. I bought this about, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago. It's a Gregory Maya 20. I needed a new pack. I was using an old Coleman, and it was Old Faithful, but it had seen better days, and it was getting really uncomfortable. So I decided, well, let me see if I can find something that is a little more comfortable. I did some research, and this one is designed with women in mind, so a little bit smaller in terms of the frame and straps and all that stuff. So I settled on this pack. So let me talk about some of the things, the features. First of all, these pockets here are elastic and stretch. It has a clip here to secure it. And the side pockets, if I could find them, are the same way. They're a stretchy fabric. So those are nice. And of course, with this, you can cram a lot of stuff in there. The problem with elastic is it stretches out and then it's no good anymore. And so I try not to pack them too full, because I know if I do that a lot, eventually there won't be any compression left. It also has a loop here and then elastic here. Now this is a regular strap with a little buckle. And this is elastic, and this is for trekking poles. I don't carry trekking poles a lot. I only take them with me. I have them, but I only take them with me if there are creek crossings involved. Otherwise, I use my trusty stick. In this outer compartment here, right sorry about that. Right here, I keep my electronics, spare battery, spare cord, that kind of thing. And then this is the main compartment, and it's quite roomy. So in there, I have a spare pair of wind pants, first aid kit, any other emergency supplies. I carry 2 jackets, a fleece and then a rain jacket, wind rain jacket. And then, of course, my food. Any food I'm going to eat on the trail goes in this. And then there's this, and this I really like. I actually bought this bladder a while back. I'm going to have to disconnect the hose here. Hold on. Okay, I needed 2 hands to disconnect the hose. But this bladder, I actually bought it before I bought the pack and used it in my old Coleman. But I really, really like this. It's 3 liters, first of all, so it takes a liter more than I was used to carrying. But my old bladder, I actually turned it upside down. And so in this, it is designed that the tube is at the bottom. I don't have to turn it upside down. And then the tube runs up as a part of the bladder, and then you connect the tube that winds up going outside the pack for you to get the water. It's also made of a really heavy and flexible, probably a PVC of some kind, and then it hangs in the pack. There's a little hook on the pack, and I'll show that in a second. And it hangs instead of, crunching up at the bottom. So that's really nice. So I've been really, really happy with this particular bladder. All right, so right here is the hook that it hangs on. So I've clipped it on. And then there's the tube to the outside of the pack. And you just put that in, click it, and you're good to go. And then, of course, there's the outlet with the little water droplet on it, right? I also like about this pack that I like that separate compartment for the water. It's not just a pocket. Years ago, I bought a low internal frame backpacking pack, and that was my first experience with a bladder, and it just had a pocket, but this has a separate compartment, so I really, really like that. Okay. Okay, it has 2 zip pockets on the hip belt. One, I have a small pair of binoculars in, and the other, I have a Leatherman. Obviously, you can put whatever you want in there. And then that thing dangling, that's a case, a holder for my phone. Just makes it easier because I use Gaia GPS, so I reference my phone quite a bit. And then this, the pad is, it's an internal frame, so you're going to sweat. There's no design that you don't sweat a lot, but it is designed, to allow as much airflow as is reasonably possible. It's also has a degree of adjustability, and that was another reason why I bought the pack, is the opportunity to adjust that internal frame so it fit a little bit better. And I will tell you, it's excellently made as far as the fabric and the stitching. This thing, I've hung it when it's full of 3 liters of water and whatnot, and it holds up just fine. And that brings me to a couple of things I didn't like, and one modification, well, 2 modifications, really. So if you notice the water hose, it's blue and then it's clear. So this blue hose came with it, and it wasn't very flexible, and it had a really hard time, and it wasn't very long, reaching to the magnet, because your clamp, your bite clamp, attaches to the magnet. Well, it wasn't flexible, it didn't reach. As a matter of fact, in order to do that on the magnet on the chest strap, it would have kinked the blue hose. So I just went and bought a section of this more flexible clear hose at Lowe's and a couple of splices. They come in a little bag, but you can put them together with these things. And I just added that, took the clamp, the bite clamp off, added a length of hose, and then put the bite clamp back on. And now it's much more flexible, and it gets where I want it to get really, really easily. And then that brings me to the problem that I'm really kind of annoyed about. So let me take the clamp off, or the bite. I say clamp, I mean valve. What the heck am I talking about? Okay, so you see this frayed end of strap? This is the chest strap, and it's supposed to go across to the other side. As a matter of fact, let me go get the other piece. Okay, so this is the clamp, right? And what it does is, this is going to be kind of hard to see. Let me see if I can get some sunlight here on it. Okay, see how it's kind of round? Okay, so what that does, and I'm talking about round right there. So what this does is it goes over this tubing right here, piping, whatever you want to call it. So it's supposed to have that little round part goes on there, and then the water tube goes in here, and then this comes across, and it's part of the chest strap. So what happened was it broke off. So kind of a weird thing to have this little, I'm going to move out into the sun again, this little clamp that just sits over that piping, but that's how it works. Now this happened when I first bought it, and I contacted Gregory, and they actually sent me a new one. So fine, I got a new one, and then they said, oh, by the way, go on YouTube to learn how to, I'm trying to get some decent light here. Go on YouTube to learn how to put it on, and they were right. It's a pain in the ass to put on. I had to use wax, and it's really, really tough. But I got it on, and it went fine for a couple years, and this morning, as you see, there it is. It broke off. And what I decided was I'm not going to mess with it anymore. I mean, it's ridiculous because the same thing is just going to happen. So here's my modification. Now, I'm on my way out to a hike, right? So I just said the hell with it. I cut the strap. I'm leaving it connected, plugged in, whatever you want to call it, and so that I can attach, I called it a clamp, but the bite valve to that and still have it within ease of reach. What I don't have, of course, now is a chest strap and, this handy little loop. I mean, that was really handy. So I just, ran it through, as you can see, the strap by the knife there, and that's as good as it gets. And if I want to change it again, I'll change it again, but I'm just going to leave it like that. A chest strap, I'm not doing stuff where the weight is shifting a lot, and I'm not carrying gobs of weight, and that's really what, the benefit of a chest strap. So I'm just going to leave it for now. Overall, I would recommend this pack. Other than the stupid chest strap, I've been very, very happy with it. I can tell you the bladder is sold separately, and like I said, I bought the bladder. Ooh, it's time for another beer, right? I bought the bladder and used it with my old pack. I bought it before I bought this pack, and yeah, that was one thing that inspired me to look at Gregory's was the fact that I already had a bladder designed for their packs. But it's a good pack. I just would encourage them to do something different with the chest strap, because it really needs to not come off every time you try and tighten it up. Anyway, reporting from Watchman Campground in beautiful Zion National Park, this is the Old Outdoor Broad, and I will be seeing you in the old outdoors. Thank you very much.